Have you ever caught yourself thinking, ugh, I'll never get this right. I'm just not good enough. What's the point of even trying?
Yeah, that inner voice, it's always talking. The real question is it helping you rise or keeping you small? Because here's the truth. The way we talk to ourselves shapes our entire life. Our thoughts drive our emotions fuel our actions, and our actions create our results. So if your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, fear, or self-doubt, guess what your life will reflect back?
But flip that script?
And everything can change. Welcome to the self-talk revolution. Let's shift the way we speak to ourselves so we can shift the way we show up in the world. The importance of positive self-talk. Let me ask you something. If your thoughts were broadcast on a loudspeaker, would you be proud of how you speak to yourself? Or would you want to turn the volume way down? We all have an inner narrator. That voice inside your head? It's not just background noise, it's everything. It shapes how you see the world, how you show up, how far you're willing to go. Your self-talk is like your personal internal coach. And the truth is, for most people, that coach isn't cheering them on, it's tearing them down. You wouldn't let a stranger say the things you say to yourself. You're not good enough. You're always messing this up. Why even try? But for some reason, we let those thoughts live rent-free in our minds every day. And over time, they don't feel like thoughts anymore. They feel like truth. But here's the good news. You can change the script. You can retrain your inner voice. And when you do, you unlock something powerful. Positive self-talk isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about recognizing that you have a choice in what narrative runs your life. Instead of I can't, it becomes I'm learning. Instead of I failed, it becomes I'm growing. Instead of I'm not enough, it becomes I'm more than ready. It's the mindset shift that unlocks clarity, builds confidence, and transforms performance from the inside out. And the best part? It starts with a single sentence. How negative self-talk affects us. Let's get brutally honest for a second. How many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even tried it? That course you didn't sign up for because you told yourself, I'm probably not smart enough. That business idea you shelved because your inner voice whispered, someone else has already done it better. That person you never approached because your mind said, why would they want to hear from me? Negative self-talk is sneaky. It doesn't always shout, it whispers. It hides in doubt, in hesitation, in perfectionism. And it shows up at the worst possible times, right when you're about to stretch, speak up, step forward. But what's worse is how it feels. That inner critic doesn't just mess with your mindset. It impacts your body. It raises stress levels, spikes anxiety, kills motivation. Your shoulders tense up, your breath shortens, your confidence disappears. And suddenly the world feels like a threat even when it's not. This is the loop we fall into. Negative thought, uncomfortable emotion, self-sabotaging behavior, confirmation of the negative belief. I'll never be good at this. Now you don't try. You avoid it. And because you avoided it, you still don't get better. So you tell yourself again, see, I knew it. And the cycle continues. But what if we interrupted that cycle? What if we learned to spot that voice, call it out, and flip the narrative? Because here's the truth. You're not born with negative self-talk. You learned it. From experiences, criticism, comparison, fear. But if you learned it, you can unlearn it. And what replaces it? That's what we're about to dive into next. Cultivating a positive inner voice. So now that we've called out the inner critic, let's talk about how we retrain it. How we transform that voice from a relentless judge into a trusted guide. Here's the secret. Your inner voice isn't the enemy. It's just a scared version of you trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. But your dreams? Your goals? They were never meant to live inside a comfort zone. So what do? We teach that voice a new language, one rooted in truth, compassion, and possibility. Let's start with this, self-awareness. Begin noticing what you're saying to yourself in those quiet, unsupervised moments. When something goes wrong, do you say, of course that happened, I always mess up? Or do you pause and breathe and say, that was tough, but I'm still learning? Just noticing is a revolution in itself, because you can't change a script you haven't read. Next, challenge the thought. Ask, is this 100% true? Would I say this to a child I love? Or a friend going through a hard time? If the answer is no, it doesn't deserve to stay. Now flip it. Turn "I'm not smart enough" into "I'm resourceful and willing to grow." Transform "I never get it right" into "Every mistake is helping me evolve." And here's the real magic. Affirmations and gratitude. They're not just Pinterest quotes, they're neurological rewiring. When you say something like, "I am becoming more confident every day," or "I am grounded, capable, and resilient," you're sending signals to your subconscious that this is who we are now. Even better? Start the day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for, big or small, because gratitude is like fertilizer for a positive inner voice. It trains your mind to see what's working instead of obsessing over what's missing. And over time, that voice, it becomes a friend, a mentor, your own quiet, steady hype squad, harnessing positive self-talk for success. Now here's where things get exciting. Let's take this from mindset to momentum, because this isn't just about feeling good. It's about showing up powerfully in your life. It's about using your self-talk as a tool for actual, tangible success. Take athletes, for example. World champions don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. Before Serena Williams steps onto the court, her self-talk isn't, "Hope I don't choke today." It's, "I've trained for this. I've got this. I am this." Entrepreneurs launching startups, speakers stepping onto stages, writers hitting send on the work they've poured their soul into. They all have one thing in common. They talk themselves into their greatness before anyone else ever claps for them. And they're not immune to fear. They've just learned to say things like, "Fear is excitement without breath. I am allowed to take up space. I'm not perfect. I'm in progress." That shift, it doesn't just affect your feelings. It affects your focus, your resilience, your ability to bounce back when life smacks you around a bit, because let's be honest, it will. And here's what no one tells you about self-talk. You don't have to believe the new thoughts right away. You just have to say them. Say them until they stick. Say them until they become who you are. Because every time you choose a kind word over a cruel one, every time you tell yourself, "Let's try again," instead of "You blew it again," you're building a mindset that's wired for long-term success. Not just success by numbers, but success by integrity, by joy, by peace, by power. And that's the version of you the world's been waiting for. Turning positive self-talk into action. Okay, now you've got the insights. You know the what and the why. But let's talk about the how. Because knowledge is potential, action is transformation. So how do you bring positive self-talk into your daily life so it sticks? Start with a ritual. Every morning, before the world floods in with emails, noise, and expectations, set your tone. Try this. Look yourself in the mirror, yes, really, and say something that anchors your worth. Not something fake or fluffy. Something real and empowering. Like, "I have what I need to make today meaningful. I am the author of my story. Today I show up with courage and clarity." Journal it. If speaking out loud feels weird at first, write it. Every day, jot down one affirmation that reflects who you're becoming. One empowering truth. One thing you're grateful for. Why? Because repetition turns into reality. And when you write it, you witness it. Use your tech to rewire your brain. Set a daily phone reminder with your affirmation. Use your lock screen. Create a playlist of audio affirmations or your own voice notes. Make self-talk unavoidable. Let it live in your environment. Integrate it into micro moments. When you're in traffic, waiting in line, right before a meeting. Instead of spiraling into stress or judgment, breathe and ask, "What's the kindest thing I can say to myself right now?" Be intentional with your reflection. Once a week, check in. How am I speaking to myself when I'm tired? When I fail? When I win? Your self-talk isn't a one-time fix. It's a relationship. You've got to nurture it. Evolve it. Keep showing up for it. And if you miss a day or 10, that's okay. That's the beauty of this practice. You can always begin again. Final message, so let's bring it home. Your inner voice is the most influential force in your life. More than your past. More than your resume. More than any Instagram quote or motivational book. Because what you say to yourself when no one's watching, that's the conversation that builds or breaks your destiny. And here's the best part. You are the one holding the pen. You get to choose the tone. You get to choose the story. You get to rewrite what's been looping on repeat for years, not by being perfect, but by being present. By choosing over and over to be your own advocate, your own ally, your own source of truth. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Choose one powerful affirmation. Write it. Say it. Live it every day for the next 7 days. Post it on your mirror. Share it with a friend. Or better yet, record it in your own voice and play it back when doubt creeps in. Because this is your self-talk revolution. And it starts not with a roar, but with a whisper. I'm worthy. I'm growing. I've got this. Let's rewrite the voice in our heads so we can rewrite the future we're walking into. If this hit home for you, drop your favorite affirmation in the comments. Let's build a community where positive self-talk isn't weird, it's normal. Where growth is celebrated, and where your voice becomes your superpower. See you in the next one. Until then, speak with love, think with power, live with intention. You've got this. And your inner voice? She's cheering for you now.